As schedules fill up, we are all about helping to make everyday life a little bit easier. From tips for quicker mornings, how you can create healthier air at home, and an update from a major toy brand that's making headlines. Joining us now for this week's Consumer Chat by Best Reviews is Senior Director of Content Operations at BestReviews.com, none other than Jacob Palmer. Hi, Jacob.
Jess, thanks so much for having me. I feel like this is a good time to just kind of get back to core fundamentals. Think about how little things that you can do to make life a little bit better, and we are always thinking about that at Best Reviews, so happy to share our results.
Yes, absolutely. The new year is here. We are rolling. We are going, to just make this the best year ever, and I feel like one of the ways that starts is with some coffee every morning. I don't know about you.
I mean, I don't know how I would have any day that started off well without the right cup of coffee in the morning, and I have a big household. We've got a lot of people that are coming in and out of there all the time. We always need to make sure that we've got a bunch of different options, and so we love to test them out ourselves. Sometimes at Best Reviews, you need to figure out, what am I going to test? And this is one I usually raise my hand for.
Yeah, you're raising your hand for the Keurig. What's new in the world of Keurig?
So one interesting thing about the Keurig is that they have really honed in on the perfect size for just a small household. I talked about mine. We need a much bigger one than this, but for those folks out there that just need one cup of coffee a day, maybe two, there is the K Mini that comes from Keurig. And we tested this one, and what we love about it is, number one, is at a very friendly price point. Usually it's going to be coming in around $70 or less, and that you're going to make your money back on really quickly.
Yeah.
And number two is it's just so simple to work. It takes just a few minutes to set up. You fill it up with water, and then you have a ton of optionality now. Now, I've been at Best Reviews since 2018, and back then, the Keurig was a little bit more of a novel product. People didn't really know what it was about. They didn't know what to expect from it. Now, you go to the shopping market, the superstore, and you will find a whole aisle for single-use coffee cups. It has become a total norm. So whether you are a fan of the Starbucks blend, there's the donut shop one that I kind of love, or something a little bit more standardized, a little bit more, what you'd expect to see. There is a ton of options out there for anybody who loves coffee and wants to make it their way.
Yes, what I love about this small size also is this can be your second one. It can be for the office. Also, I think great for grandparents who aren't good with the tech, and it's super easy with this one, so it makes an easy cup of coffee. We love that. Jacob, something else I wanted to talk to you about was purifying your air at home. There's lots of conversation around this. What do we need to know when it comes to that?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's that time of year, so it seems like everybody is kind of having the conversation of, how do I make it feel a little fresher in here? There's a ton of stuff out there on TikTok about, it's called belching your home, where you open all of the windows and you let the fresh air in. And now, for some people, that's a bigger project than others because it's a bigger house. Maybe you live in an apartment building where you don't have as much say over what the windows are doing. So that is where the air purifier comes in. And we have done a lot of testing on the air purifiers in the Best Reviews testing lab. One that is at a very friendly price point that you see on your screen right now comes from Levoit. But you'll also notice that's kind of a smaller unit. And what we see is, when you're making this decision, is how much space do you actually want to be able to take care of? The one on the screen, perfect for, again, an office, kind of another mini appliance. That would be great for a smaller room, office, bedroom, bathroom. But there's also ones that are more industrial looking, like what we have here, that are going to be better for the larger open concept living room. We're talking about 500, 600 square feet, and be able to take care of it no problem. And these really came to prominence over COVID because a lot of people had valid concerns over the safety of the air and whether it was healthy or not. Nowadays, it's just as important, but it can do so many other things, like take allergens out of the air and take other harmful toxins out of the air as well. So it is just a great product to have. And at the end of the day, you don't see it taking the allergens out of the air. You don't see it taking the toxins out of the air. But what you feel is just how much more pleasant your environment is.
Yeah, you can feel that. I was going to say, this is one of the things to come out of the pandemic that I absolutely loved. So many places that never had air purifiers had that crisp, clean air. And you can really feel it. All right, what about when it comes to toys? What major brand is making headlines?
So this is a really fun one, and it's great to see because it's just so welcoming in terms of the inclusivity, excuse me. And this, I know you covered it live in the Bay last week, but we wanted to shed a little bit more light on it. It comes from Mattel. It's in the Barbie Fashionista line, and it is their first autistic Barbie. And what's so cool about it is that it shows off a lot of the different sensory things that autistic people deal with, as well as communication styles. And they did it in concert with the Autism Self-Advocacy Network, which is so important that you center their stories and make sure that it is as representative as possible possible so it can help people. And what's great for parents too is it just really introduces the concept that sometimes people are dealing with different circumstances.
Yeah.
And for little kids, it's really that simple for them to learn that. But what you want to avoid is something that's new to a child and they react negatively to it. And then as a parent, you're left scrambling. And this is a great way to teach them naturally that, hey, everybody is dealing with something different. Everybody is going through life in a different way. And this is a normal thing that people have. So
yes.
I, as a father, honestly, I absolutely love this because it makes it easier to avoid kind of uncomfortable conversations with a toddler. And then they go into it because it's not hard to teach a toddler something like this. You say it to them once, they go, of course, and then they move on. So I absolutely love it as a natural way to kind of keep the toddler in step with what's going on out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how Mattel is being so inclusive with all these new Barbies that they are bringing out, and anything that can help the education, the conversation with the child. I think that's just great when it comes to toys. Jacob, thank you so much for these updates. These are always so great and always so great to have you.
Thanks so much for having me, Jess.
Yes, of course. Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, Nexstar. And for more on these products and others, you can head to bestreviews.com, or you can scan the QR code that you see right there on your screen.